This is how you sell and lead and scale on Instagram right now. If you are ready to step into your authority and attract the right clients who can afford to work with you and who value the transformation that you provide, if you're ready to turn Instagram into a sales machine and have fun doing it, join me for my new free live training happening for the first time this year. It is called What to Post on Instagram to Make More Sales. I kept the title so simple because that is what you're going to learn. That's the transformation. That is the outcome. And I'm going to show you exactly what to post, why your content is not converting more, and how to fix it fast with my connection to conversion model. Now, this is for women who are serious about growing their business, not just collecting followers on Instagram. It is for women who are serious about leading in their industry and making sales without sacrificing their lifestyle. You're going to learn the exact social method that has helped women grow wildly successful businesses with simple, powerful content. And it's all happening live on August 12th or the 14th or the 15th of August. You get to choose which one of those classes you come to. They're all the same, but places are limited in each of the classes. Spots are free. So go to tracyharris.co/masterclass now to grab your free spot while there are still places, and I will see you there. Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 497.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
Hey there. In today's episode, I want to talk about Instagram stories for a second because it's been a while since we had a conversation about that. And Instagram stories really is the place to move people into your DMs where you can serve them best, where you can let them know what freebies you might have that might be the next best step, or where you can share information about a program that you have or your coaching or your service that may help them move forward. So Instagram stories are a really powerful way for you to connect and obviously build that trust and build that relationship, but they're a really powerful sales tool if you know how to use it like that. So how do you use Instagram stories to make sales? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode, because if you've been showing up on your Instagram stories, but if your sales aren't growing, or if your email list feels a little quiet, then this episode is going to completely shift how you're showing up. Maybe your Instagram stories strategy is a little bit outdated. Maybe you don't have a strategy. You've just been kind of showing up there most days, hoping that that's enough. Well, no, I'm going to walk you through how to use Instagram stories to build your list and to make more sales in a way that is still uniquely you, without being pushy, without being spammy, and without oversharing or being awkward. And in this episode, you're going to learn the 4 types of Instagram stories that I actually teach inside of my paid programs. I teach these inside of my Social Method Society, which is all about helping women build a personal brand and a content system that converts on Instagram. And I also share this inside of my Freedom Filled Business Mentorship, because all of those women are growing digital businesses as well. So really, we need to be creating consistent connection, but we also need to be creating consistent authority and conversions if you're a business owner. That's what we need. We need conversions after all. We also want our stories to be fun, to be personal in a world with AI, and it feels like every second caption, every second carousel that I'm reading is AI generated. And maybe they're informative, maybe they're even entertaining. It's really in your Instagram stories where you get to show up and you get to show that more personal side of you so people know who they're actually going to be working with or signing up with. And it's important. It's a space for you to lead in a super authentic way. Now, if you are the type of person that benefits from the exact breakdown of a structure or a formula, if you're someone that also would love some done for you prompts that fit into the category of connection and authority and conversions, then you can go ahead now and grab my free Instagram Stories strategy pack. You just have to go to tracyharris.co/strategy-pack. So tracyharris.co/strategy-pack, and you'll be able to grab that. I've got an Instagram Stories strategy pack that gives you a whole bunch of prompts for you to be showing up with consistent connection, authority, and conversions. But I think what the real valuable thing inside of this strategy pack is the exact breakdown of the formula. It's the structure to these stories. So in today's episode, I'm going to be taking you through the 4 types of stories that you should be doing as someone on Instagram building a personal brand, as a coach, as a mentor, as a digital educator. But it's inside of the free resource, the Instagram Stories strategy pack, that I will be able to unpack the 4-part framework or the formula for you. Okay. So again, just go to tracyharris.co/strategy-pack and you'll be able to get that for free. All right, let's kind of dive into part 1 of our episode here today, where I'm going to unpack why stories are the easiest sales tool that you're not fully using. All right. Now, the reason that I love stories so much is because it really is your direct line to your warmest audience. It's the people closest to making a buying decision, or your raving fans that are watching your stories. And the reason that your stories works so well to build your email list, I hope you're growing an email list, or to make sales right there on Instagram in between those beautiful launches that you might be doing, is that stories are intimate and they're unfiltered, meaning that people trust you faster. Instagram stories bypass the algorithm. If someone views your story once, they are going to see you more. You're going to show up higher in their stories feed, which runs horizontally at the top of their Instagram app when they open it up. Also, people binge watch stories. So they are building connection and building familiarity. But unfortunately, when it comes to stories, most coaches and digital educators are showing up inconsistently. They often forget to sell or share a list builder, a freebie that they have, or they treat their stories like a behind the scenes vlog with absolutely no business direction, and then wonder why they're not making sales or why their email list isn't growing. They're kind of just showing up with their daily vlogs and it's leading nowhere. So we want to fix that, which brings me to part 2. And that's the 4 types of stories that actually build your list and make sales. So this is one that you want to write down. If you haven't got a piece of paper or a pencil and pen, please go and grab one. Permission to pause. Okay, I'm assuming that you're all set up, right? The first one is the list building story. We want to have list building stories. And bonus little tip for joining me here on the podcast, once you've done this, you can actually save this to be a set of highlights that sits at the top of your profile. So don't forget to slow down, put some intention into this set of stories, and then you can actually turn them into a highlight so that anyone who comes to your profile can go through that highlight and opt in and join your email list, okay? All right, it's a way to keep that set of stories evergreen and always list building. We've got to be really savvy with how we're using these Instagram features. That's what I love to teach. That's what we talk about inside of the Social Method Society. So if that's of interest to you, come and join us. Let's fix the Instagram game for you. All right. So list building stories. Now, here are some words. Yes, I'm going to give you some actual copy. And I want you to do this. And then I want you to message me and tell me that it worked, because I know it will. This next one that I'm sharing with you today actually comes from a prompt on my Instagram content calendar that I give to my members inside of my Social Method Society. It's the prompt of this day, the day that I'm recording this episode for you. And as soon as I finish recording this episode, I'm jumping on and I'm going to do this prompt myself in my stories. So if you're a member and if this feels familiar, it's because we put this on your content calendar regularly. Because if we don't, what happens is people actually forget to list build. And sometimes people use far too many words, and that doesn't result in conversions. And sometimes people just use the wrong words. So I like to help people out by giving them a little bit of copy to actually put onto a static image in the Instagram stories, or for them to like hold the camera up and speak directly to the camera and say the following. Are you ready? You're going to write this down. Okay. You could say, I just updated my free workbook. DM me workbook if you want it. Now that's very vague and very like general, right? So it could just be, I just updated, in my case, my Instagram stories strategy pack. If you want it for free, DM me the word stories and I'll send it to you. So that's an example of what I would say. So taking that prompt, that piece of copy, and saying it like that. Now, I don't have to say it face to camera. I can also just select a photo and I can use the text tools on Instagram stories and I can just say that. Okay. All right. Now, here's another example. You could use the poll sticker and it could say, do you have my free Instagram stories guide yet? And then you could have a button, yes, no. Now, anyone that clicks no, you could follow up with all those people and say, you don't have my stories strategy pack. Would you like me to send it over? Just type yes. And now you're going to get a whole bunch of people wanting it. Now, I'm just using myself as an example, but inside of my communities, I've got women growing businesses using Instagram in all kinds of niches, okay? There are women in there with recipe memberships, and they're trying to grow an audience for that. I've got artists in there. I've got people that make earrings, lots of handmade businesses in there. People that teach handmade businesses are in there. I've got dog trainers. I've got fitness and Pilates practitioners, PTs. I've got business coaches, Facebook ad strategists. I've got accountants. I've got women that teach, that run like teen girl workshops, therapists, all kinds of people. So whatever niche you have, you can use the prompts that I'm giving you here, or the prompts that I give my members inside of the Social Method Society every single month, to be showing up with greater intention, with stories or with posts that actually lead to list building or sales. Okay. So that was just 2 examples of how you can do a set of list building stories. If you want my tried and true 4-part framework for taking that prompt and how you're actually going to do it on stories, and if you want it to be so good that you can save it as a highlight, then you probably need my freebie. Go to tracyharris.co/strategy-pack and I'll send it over to you. Okay, so the second type of Instagram stories that you need to do are what I call connection stories. So this feels right into the heart space, okay? This is where we actually want our followers to feel like they know the real us, because this is relationship capital. And I'm a big believer in the fact that energy can't be faked. I really believe energy can't be faked. We can hide behind text on screen, but when you show up and when you make eye contact, I know it feels like you are speaking to no one, but that's not true. You're speaking to a global audience. People get to feel your essence and your energy, and you are a match for some people. So give them the opportunity to experience the real you. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, as I did with the list building stories. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of connection stories that you can take and adapt to your niche, whatever style of business that you have. So the first one is a behind the scenes of your business. Now, this doesn't have to be a whole day in the life, because if you're anything like me, you've tried to create a day in the life and then you get partway through the day. I mean, I don't even make it past my morning routine, and then I forget that I'm supposed to be documenting everything. So it doesn't have to be the whole day. Props to anyone who does actually record or vlog their whole day. I think that you're amazing and it's very entertaining and I love it. But I don't know, it just doesn't work for me yet. Maybe I'll get there. But I am a big fan of just documenting part of my day. I can commit to that. So it might be taking my audience with me into a content creation studio here in Bali, and they get to come along on the journey, and then I just show them the check-in, the setup. I show them me having a little break or a little update, how many lessons I've recorded. And then I show them at the end of the day, I'm absolutely exhausted, and we usually have to go out for dinner or something, because there's no way I can do parenting and cooking and household stuff at the end of a day like that. So I'm just kind of showing part of the day, right? Now, second example, you could share candid thoughts and opinions on industry trends. Like, is there something that is timely and relevant in your business at the moment that maybe you've got your own opinion on, your own hot take, or your own critical thinking, and you want to sit there and kind of share it on your Instagram stories? That is opening up a conversation. It's opening up an opportunity for your audience to connect with you. And any time that we can create that sort of opportunity, it means that we can start having conversations in the DMs. People buy from coaches that they like and trust. They don't buy from coaches that they don't like and that they don't trust. So we need to create opportunities where people can experience the real us. And sometimes that means sharing our opinions, sharing our values, what we stand for, what we don't. Let's move on to the third type of stories for digital educators, mentors, and coaches. The third set is the social proof stories. Now, this is important because nothing sells your coaching or your course like seeing other people get results. So a couple of examples is to share, maybe it is just a photo, a static image with a screenshot of a message or a post inside of your community where someone has experienced progress. Now, you can keep that person completely anonymous unless you ask for their permission to share it, or maybe they've signed a waiver upon coming into the program. But unless you've got their permission to share it, keep them anonymous. And you can share that screenshot or that win. Another great style of a social proof IG story is a before and after transformation. So if you're someone that teaches people how to go from not knowing how to decorate a cake to decorating a really beautiful birthday cake, you can show that before and after transformation. Or if you're showing something with high contrast, like, I don't know, let's just pretend you do injectables for people and you're going to be like, look at this person before I did insert treatment, whatever it is, and then look at the after. Or weight loss can be a really easy one as well, or muscle gain. These are things that have high contrast. Maybe you're an interior decorator, high contrast, like showing a space that is unstyled versus styled. Or maybe you're a fashion stylist, again, high contrast, before and afters. Maybe you're a landscaper, high contrast, before and after transformations. Maybe you do people's Facebook ads. You would have data there to show before and after. High contrast transformations also sell. So what this creates, these before and afters and showing people's wins or people's progress, it creates desire and belief. It's that belief of, oh, wow, if she can do it in her situation, or if they got that result given their unique circumstances, it can also work for me. And when you are marketing or when you're in sales, you're in the business of shifting beliefs. Every piece of content needs to shift a belief that your audience has. And sometimes that belief is as simple as, well, if they can do it, you can do it too. So you want to be showing those in your stories. Now, you can do this through speaking stories, like talking head stories, or you can do this through photos with text on top. It really doesn't matter. Okay. But if it's connection, which was the second one, I encourage you to be speaking at least a few times a week to the camera. Okay. Type number 4 is the direct offer story. People, we cannot be waiting for our audience to figure out that you have an offer. They're not going to smell it through the screen. You need to show up and you need to talk about your offer regularly and confidently. So talking about your offer on camera just feels different. Again, there's that likability and trust factor there. So if you can start talking about your offers and selling direct to camera, telling people what you have, how it helps them, how they can get it, send me a DM, like that sort of vibe, you're going to experience more sales versus if you don't. You can also share FAQs about your program with answers on your stories. And this is one that I would save as a highlight, actually. You don't have to, but it is a strategic set of highlights that sells either your course or your membership or your mastermind, if it's a mastermind program with that people can join all the time and you've got rolling membership there. Having a series of FAQs about your program or about how people can work with you, or you could do that one time as a set of stories and then share that to your highlights. But that's something that you can do regularly. FAQs about your program/programs. And this is important because the more you show up directly selling, the more normal it feels for people to buy from you. And that's what we're priming our audience to do. You're either training your audience to think of you as a content creator and an entertainer, or friend zoning you, or you're making it feel normal for them to buy from you. And again, that social proof that I talked about just before this, number 3 was social proof stories, showing that other people are buying, other people are getting results. That all assists in number 4, which is direct offer stories. So they all work hand in hand, not just in isolation. So how do we make all of this work without feeling salesy? The magic is in rotating through all of these 4 types of stories consistently. And this is something that I've found over the past 10 years that without a plan, people actually forget to do this. Or they just default to sharing, again, just behind the scenes of their day, or they start, becoming friends with their audience, but really they forget that they're running a business at the end of the day. So they're not list building and they're never selling. And then they're wondering why. So having a plan is really helpful to keep you intentional and on track. And inside of my Social Method Society, my members actually get a monthly plan with their content planned for them. And I also teach in there how to create their own weekly Instagram stories plan. But you can set aside some time to do this now on your own, okay? So to support you in doing that, I do recommend that you go to tracyharris.co/strategy-pack, or maybe you just want to hop on the wait list for the Social Method Society, socialmethodsociety.com, and you'll be able to come in and join us when I invite you in when the doors open next. But your stories weekly flow could look something like this. On Monday, I'm going to do a list building story. On Tuesday, I'm going to do a connection story. On Wednesday, I'm going to do social proof stories. Thursday, I'm going to do direct sales. Friday, I'm going to mix, or I'm just going to repeat. I'm just going to start again. But this mix of connection and sales is going to keep your audience engaged and converting without feeling like you're constantly pitching. But you do need your audience to know that you've got something. You have to talk about it because, like I said at the beginning, they're not just going to smell that you have got a program or a product that they desire. All right. If you want the exact 4-part formula with a whole bunch of stories prompts, my best prompts that build connection, and, some plug and play stories flow, then I have got you. That's what is inside of the Stories Strategy Pack. So you can go to tracyharris.co/strategy-pack to get that now. Stories are where your audience is already watching you. So let's make sure that they're also subscribing and they're also buying from you. I can't wait to hear how you go once you implement these 4 types of stories. And if you do go ahead and you download the Stories Strategy Pack, you'll also find a bonus on the back page that shares with you my top 3 apps for creating powerful stories that convert. So you can go and check those out too. All right, that's it for this episode. I can't wait to hear how you go implementing a renewed and refreshed stories strategy. And I'll see you here on the podcast next week.